Hi, this is Rebecca with Made Central, and also new to the bill Thursday, October 29th, 2020, is the rate adjustment control. And that new automation allows you to automate the process of increasing service set rates based on the average time it takes to complete the job. And there's an email template included. So what this means, again, it's kind of like the last video where we talked about rate increases. This is a rate adjustment. So the reason you would do a rate adjustment for a customer is usually something that you want to do in the beginning of the life cycle of a customer. So you've signed them up either over the phone or they booked online, and you've gone out and cleaned their house a couple times, and either it's taking you a lot more time in congruence with your actual allowed labor hours for the job, or it's taking you a lot less time. So you might want to make a rate adjustment in an increase or a decrease, depending on the actual amount of time you're spending over or under the rate allowed hours or the allowed hours for that job. So you can see here it starts off talking about what is the minimum variance between allowed hours and average allowed hours you would like to include. So for example, a variance of zero point 0.5 denotes 30 minutes and would include service sets that are taking 30 minutes longer than the allowed hours. So if I put in here 0.5, I can again use that as my example. So I'm looking for jobs that are taking me 30 minutes longer than I had put in when I sold them for the allowed labor hours for that job. What is your target hourly rate? So knowing your current hourly rate, the new rate will be calculated using target hourly rate times normalized average actual hours. So again, that means you must be closing payroll for those numbers to be averaged for your average actual hours and your normalized average actual hour calculations. So what is your new target rate? So let's say that I want to go to charge $55 an hour is my new target rate. Again, some of the same filters from the last report. What start date will be used to filter closed jobs? Show service sets that haven't had a rate increase in how many months? And when will the new rate take effect? And do you want to update the job allowed hours? So in this instance, I definitely want to be updating the job allowed hours because that is what I'm looking at. I'm looking for jobs that are incorrectly calculated with their allowed labor hours, and I want to make sure I'm making those adjustments. So again, this conversation with the customer could include, just increasing their rate so that you have enough time to do all the things that need to be done while you're there. Maybe making adjustment to their scope of work if they want to stay at the same rate. There's all kinds of things that seeing these numbers can allow for you and the customer to come to a consensus on to make sure that you're meeting their satisfactory, plus you're making the correct amount of money every time you go clean their home. Again, our filters have remained the same across the bottom. Do we want to include our first time jobs, include redo jobs, include jobs that had trainees on them, and include time rate mod jobs? Again, these filters can automatically be included or excluded. Again, you can filter by service set types, frequency, and home zone. If you do not check mark any of these options, it will pull in all the data for all of these options. So all your service sets, frequencies, and home zones will populate as long as they meet these parameters that you've set above. Okay, you can see here I've generated the report, and most likely, hopefully you are, when you're, setting your allowed hours versus the amount of time that you're actually spending, you're not going to have a lot of people that show up on this report. But again, if you do, this gives you the opportunity to review their actual rate and if an adjustment needs to be made. So just looking at this example, you can see we go every 2 weeks at a rate of $96. The allowed hours are 3. The average actual hours is 5.28, and our normalized average actual hours is 4.63. So in this example, we're spending a lot more time at this house versus the allowed hours that are set, and we're staying there a lot of labor hours for this very low every 2 week rate. So you can see the variance is the 4.63 minus the 3, which gives us a variance of 1.63, a variance of over 54%. So this new rate, the recommended rate increase, is actually a very large rate increase because of the amount of time that we're actually spending there versus what we should be spending there, or what we've estimated we should be sending there. So again, a couple conversations can be had with the customer in determining what type of rate increase to do. If you just automatically did this rate increase, they would get an email, which we looked at earlier, again under company templates. And I'm just going to sort by modified date. I've got a rate adjustment email that is editable by each company, so you can update this. You can see here I've already made some updates to mine, and it gives them the information. There's some new replacement field tags that are available for this email template type. So again, you can customize this to send to your customers about rate adjustments. Going back to this example, you can see here that we can, again, we want to update the new allowed hours to recognize how much time we are actually spending there and make a determination if we want this to be the new rate. Since that's such a large increase, for this example, maybe I want to change this to 125 and get it in a more of a ballpark and have a better conversation with this person about every 2-week pricing to make sure we're getting the information correct. Now again, I can select this customer, update base fee logs, and email the customer. That's included the new rate and the year projection. Again, you can hover over these, projected additional revenue for all jobs over the next year. I can go to that customer's account. See here, just do a quick refresh. And you can see by clicking on the rate log that on 12/1, the new base fee will go into effect with the new allowed hours, and it lets me know that this was due to a rate adjustment. And again, back on their notes tab, you can see the email template that was automatically generated to send to them after we completed the rate adjustment. And there it is. And that's how you use the new rate adjustment control inside of MaidCentral. Thank you.